the SML podcast, Playing the Field, Field Journal 007. I'm with my new co-host, and I'm not saying that we're the best show, but we're definitely in the top two. We got Raider fan here with us today, the Raiders owner. What's going on, brother?
Not much. Happy to be here.
All right, so we got some topics we got to cover, and I think everyone, it's very, very controversial when we talk about Raider fan, but the conspiracy theory, lay it down there on the line right now, because no one ever wants to give your side. We always get to hear everyone else's side. We really, truly don't get to address your side on the podcast. Now is your time to shine, my friend. Tell us why you believe that. I'll just let you describe your theory. Go ahead.
My theory is this. I believe that the game is coded to have a certain... this is how I'll break it down. You know, you have online competitive mode, and then you have franchise simulation mode.
Correct.
And I believe the competitive mode is using the user skills versus the other user skills. And I believe simulation mode takes into account the user skills, but attempts to simulate what the teams look like in the NFL at the time of the creating of the franchise. So when we made our CFM, certain teams were supposed to look like garbage.
Right.
I believe a good owner can take a bad team higher, and I believe a bad owner can make a good team worse. But I believe when I'm playing, I will hit circle to throw a ball to a wide open guy, and that ball will go nowhere near where I was throwing it. It will just carry to a defender who is 10 yards away, or it'll go behind. It's just, and when I watch other people's games, I see the same thing. I'll watch a guy play, and I'll know he did not throw that ball there.
Right.
And I really believe that's the biggest thing I believe that happens also is the offensive line. I believe the offensive line will just let someone through because they're trying to make it look a certain way. I really feel that's going on.
So simulation, and they've talked about it, that it adds that randomness to the game. I don't know if it's necessarily predetermined outcomes, but it is supposed to add a random aspect to the game. My issue with playing with sim versus competitive is the fact that they added the X factors this year. They added all the abilities this year, and to me, that has added with the sim mode, added with the randomness. To me, that's kind of trashed the game in an aspect. You've seen total unsim stats. Like Fletcher Cox had over 30 sacks in the season. That's never going to happen in real life.
Yeah.
So I think we need to turn that shit off.
Last year in the NFL, the interception leader was 7 interceptions.
7 interceptions was the leader.
For the entire year.
Wow.
In 2018 in the real NFL.
Okay.
And right now, we are in week 15, I think it is.
Yeah.
And the interception leader is sitting at...
You cut out a little bit on me.
The interception leader right now is sitting at 23.
23 compared to 7 in real life in 2018. So here's now I'm going to give you my theory on that. Obviously, that's not a CPU player. That's a user or mostly user control player. Who's the leader?
The leader is Roquan Smith.
On the Bears. So chances are Oshi's using him. Correct?
Right.
All right. So, and I've said this before. If you really truly wanted a sim experience, you would not allow players to use or catch. You would not allow them to switch. We would all have to be defensive linemen. And they would take out a lot of... Because we played in... Prime and I played in a league where there was no user catch rule. When you threw the ball on offense, you couldn't hit a button. And on defense, you could only go for a pick if you were that player at the beginning of the game. Or the beginning of the play, excuse me. You couldn't switch. I think that does allow the players... And I do see the aspect of it makes ratings matter, where you can't switch to the ball or whatever. When you're able to play linebacker in Madden, how wide is the field in real life?
20. Yeah, exactly.
How many? I mean,
50 yards.
It's 50 yards wide, correct? And
I have to look up the exact
it's
number.
something stupid wide. It's 25, 30 yards, something that you can't cover in 2 to 3 seconds as a linebacker or any player for that matter. And Madden, it's a video game. They do the best they can to make it a sim experience, but the width in the game is very complex and nearly impossible for them to emulate. Uh, so I think what they need to do, if you wanted to make it truly fair, you wouldn't allow players to use their linebacker or defensive backs for that matter, because that horizontal change in direction, you're just able to cover the field too quickly. You're able to put players in positions they would never be able to be in real life. You're not letting them just play in their zones. Or you'd have to put that rule in if you're going to user that player that he has to stay in his zone. What do you think about that?
And I agree with everything you're saying, but at the same time, the game's supposed to be fun.
Oh yeah,
I think that where I think the fix is best aimed, they need to reduce the ability of the defender to catch a ball. When you watch real NFL, there's so many plays where the defender, or he just, all they can do is hit it.
Right.
And how many times we see a guy on his hands and knees slamming his head against the ground with frustration because he feels he could have caught that thing.
Well, that's why they say that's why they're on the defensive side of the ball instead of offense, because if they could catch, they'd be playing on offense.
And in my experience at this Madden, my offensive player will watch the defender go after the ball. The defenders make far superior catches than anything offensive guys make.
Let me ask you this: from opening day until now, has the gameplay quality gone down or stayed the same?
I think it's dropped dramatically.
Oh, I 100% agree with you. I think a lot of people would agree. Every season, every year, this is the thing that we do where it's a pretty decent game coming out of the gate. So people bitch about some stuff. They make drastic changes to the existing game. So they try to make a Band-Aid fix where they're not re-encoding the entire game. They switch some things and they fuck up something else. And that's why you've got greater and greater failures within the game, because they're changing its native state, what it was at launch. It wasn't supposed to be that way. On top of the fact that the game engine they're using, I discussed this last Madden. You can go through the videos. There's an article on it where the game engine that they use is for shooters. They port the games over. They do very little changing year to year to year. And I know some people may not want to hear this. It's boring or whatever, but they port it over, and they have what are called legacy issues within the game, which they attempt to correct every year. So a legacy issue is something that is an issue every single year. And quite frankly, I think EA should be ashamed of themselves for putting out a product like this, but they don't give a rat's ass because of Madden Ultimate Team, the microtransactions, and you're never going to see CFM get better. I think within the next 5 years, CFM will be totally out of the game.
Unless they can find a way to sell features in it for microtransactions.
Yeah, you'd have to monetize CFM mode. For them to do that, they'd have to say, well, because basically you'd be paying for server space essentially. So you'd have to pay for a $30 season pass to have access to CFM online.
Yeah.
Which, if they would give you, gameplay aside, my biggest bitch is the connectivity issues. How many times do you get desyncs or see desyncs in this league? I played the Lions owner. We had 10 fucking desyncs in one game. And we played in a quick match online, played the entire game, first time, right through. So EA should be ashamed of themselves. Really what needs to happen, and I've said this before, is a class action lawsuit where we, the consumers, all sue them, and they have to give us something because they're not giving you the product that they're describing, quite frankly.
Right. Exactly. I'm right there with you. They said in an article one time years ago, and I'm sure whoever said it has been fired and regrets saying it, but they said you can't rebuild again. You can't make a new game in 1 year. They get a 1 year to 1 year cycle. Nope. So basically, they admitted it's the same game every year. Yeah. They said it takes 3 years to make a new game. Yeah. And I'm okay with the porting. I'm fine with that. Port it over every year, right, as long as you have a crew, a team developing another one 3 years down the road. So you can port it 3 times. Just give us 3 expansion packs, basically.
Well, really, what they
need. And then,
go ahead.
Give us that remade, rebooted, revamped, improved 3-year game.
So what they need to do, in my opinion, what they need to do is make the game digital only, sell it for $45 or $50 online, where you pay for an annual license to. It's just going to be Madden. We're not going to purchase a new Madden at the store every year. It's going to be the same game, but they'll constantly put out game updates, and there'll be a bigger patch, or every year it'll be one massive game update that you'll have. Because basically, what you buy the new Madden for is because the majority of the people switch over to the new game that you'd be playing online, if it's mud or whatever. And if you don't play online, you're paying for the new roster updates because they don't really add anything new. They add some stuff that they took out 3 years ago. Everyone knows, EA's formula. So what they need to do is make it where you're paying for that annual license to play the game, and just slowly just keep on developing the game, keep on changing it as it goes.
I'm with you. Yeah, every September come out with the big roster update that amps the team up.
Right.
And then maybe charge us $8 a month for CFM.
Yeah, that's on. And I had no issue paying $25 or $30 a year, or like you're saying, if it's $8 a month,
if they're fixing the game actively.
Yeah, if they're actually doing things, and if their servers play the way they're supposed to. If you got to pay for a premium service such as that, I think that it needs to live up to that, and I think that's why they don't do it, because they know they can't put that product out. They can't live up to something. Because we got locked out of franchise mode, for God's sake.
Yep, and you could go online and mutt and do whatever you wanted.
Anytime, because that's where the money's at, and everyone knows that. Like I said, I fear and I feel that within the next 5 years, we will not have connected franchise mode.
I dread it.
You have Mutt, you have Superstar KO, which I thought was a total gimmick, would not be fun. Have you played Superstar KO?
No, I have no idea what it is.
Superstar KO is a mode. Basically, you start, and Snoop Dogg gets on there. It's 1v1, 2v2, and get with your boys for 3v3. And basically, you pick players at the beginning of each time you go in. I think there's 4 or 5 matches you play. So you pick a base team, and based on whatever within that team is, there's the one with Sean McVay, so that gives you the most offensive plays. I've been picking the John Gruden. It's the West Coast system. It's got a decent amount of plays, and you get like Brandon. You get Tyreek Hill and a couple other decent guys with your stock roster. You get to pick NFL legends: Ray Lewis, John Elway, Marvin Harrison, and they constantly add new players, and they have different versions of each player in there. And so you pick like 3 to 5 players at the first round, and then as each round as you progress, you pick one player if you beat your next guy. And basically, the game is it's only one drive. You get one offensive drive to go score a touchdown and get a 2-point conversion. Your opponent gets to answer. If they don't, you win the game. If they do, you go to overtime, which is tug of war, which goes by, it's like 5 plays, and whoever gets the most yards or the touchdown wins the game. And in between, like, each play, the end zone widens. It's no longer just the 10 yards. It comes out like to the 30 or the 40-yard line. As long as you hit in that green, you get the touchdown. It's a neat little gimmick. I think you'd... I didn't think I was going to like it. I tried it. My buddy came over. We played that shit for like 8 hours one night.
Huh.
Yeah. That was actually really fun. So, because you're not sitting there playing the whole game for an hour and then lose. Like, if you lose, you lose pretty quick. It's 2 drives and you're done. So, it's actually pretty fun. But... let's talk about the SML. That's what we're here for. I think I've babbled on long enough about EA putting a shitty game that we all know about, and about EA's newest gimmick, the Superstar KO. So as we look, who in your opinion right now actually is the best team in the SML?
Well, you can never discount the Colt, of course.
Right.
I think the Chiefs are pretty good. Meats looks like he's on fire.
Yeah.
Oshie is always good because the computer wants the Bears to win. And Governor is always great, despite the Eagles not being the best team.
Right.
Grams has fallen off, so got to look somewhere else from that. Wattpad is a beast. He overcomes the game hating his guts.
Yeah, and that's what I will say about that guy is he's a legit player. he has an insane amount of people that watch his streams, and he doesn't talk shit. I like guys that are good and don't run their mouths about it. Like this guy, I mean, he comes in, he brings his lunch pail to work, he takes care of business. He's 11-2 with the Redskins right now, and you don't hardly hear dick from this guy.
Yeah.
I like the dude.
So I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something that's gonna make me look pretty stupid to everybody in the league. But I'm gonna tell you something. And taking this job has hurt me this season, this Madden. But I spent a lot of time practicing this fucking game.
Yeah.
I write down plays. I like to know my plays by heart,
Right.
and I like to practice them over and over. I'm pretty dorky about it. And this Madden, I may not do it as much, and I definitely haven't found any plays I like. And that's what caught me onto the conspiracy thing, because plays would work in practice and then not do anything in the game. And normally I can do some plays in the game. It's like certain plays work, and you know they're going to work.
Right.
Because that's football. But when I get into the game, because they want me to lose, that play does not work. And it should have, because it was the right coverage. And they just make sure the ball doesn't go where it's supposed to go, or the offensive lineman did not block. Anyway, so I was watching this guy last night. He played, this one guy played the Dolphins and streamed his game.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote down every single play he called. I'm amazed at the variety of plays this guy used. If I don't know the play, if I have not practiced it for 2 or 3 hours, I don't ever call a play.
Yeah.
And obviously this guy was just grabbing plays out of the air and doing them. He called 23 plays out of the gun formation, 19 different formations.
Wow.
And then he called 6 plays out of single back, a total of 11 plays. Then he called 2 pistol plays and 1 strong eye play, and he had 1 I form play.
So here's another issue. You can't even see the previous play call half the time. That feature's broken this year.
When I was watching this guy stream, every one of his plays came up afterward.
Really? Mine very rarely come up.
I didn't watch defense, but every one of his offensive plays came up, and what defense was called against him. I didn't watch his defense.
I think a big thing, speaking of defense, and a lot of issues you're going to see, myself included, when you're the Houston Texans, you have a very bad offensive line. A lot of teams have very bad offensive lines, and they made such a factor about increasing the pass rush this year because they didn't want to see guys hang on for 13, 14 seconds and hit a crossing route. So they try to fix something. They try to make it realistic. But at the same time, they try to fix man coverage. But they made this stuff OP, and they didn't add in or add back things that would help you, like screens. Screens are still pretty much worthless unless you're doing an RPO, and certain RPO plays are broken. So I don't know. I think there needs to be a great balancing act, and if you're playing a lot of the very good guys in the SML, I mean, you see it all the time. People argue about it. The YouTube players, where they're going on there getting the schemes straight off of YouTube. It's the same plays you'll see time and time again. Same guys running the same stuff. And I don't know. And the really great players are the guys that don't really have to throw the ball a whole lot. So Oshi's the OG right now. That dude could get it done, damn 18 runs to 2 passes. Like, he knows. It's guys that figure out how to win through the game. You know, not because they're the smartest play callers, not because they're the best offensive defensive schemers. It's because they're playing within the confines of the game. Whatever the game gives them good at, playing at what the AI sucks at defending, doing certain things. I see a lot of guys, which I don't like doing, is how they'll drop all the way like far back and to the left in the pocket, or vice versa to the right. Most of the time, though, the right-handed passers, they're dropping back far to the left in the pocket. It seems like they always float back way to the left and then throw the ball. And I don't know. I just feel like there's not very many good counters if you're just playing like a straight-up, just calling your plays, you know, just calling your defensive blitzes the way they're set up. Certain formations, like I call 4-4, 4-6 to stop the run. Get off a fucking 80-yard clip just because they either watch YouTube or run it through the gauntlet. You know, it's just like, it doesn't Madden doesn't reward you for being a good football mind. I don't know how you feel about that, but it just seems maybe it's because we're on sim mode opposed to competitive mode. I quit playing. I've played maybe 20 or 30 matches in quick play, but it definitely feels different playing in franchise mode.
Yeah, I've what I know. What the biggest difference I'll say from the online play versus CFM is just the Raider team I'm playing with. It's like Josh Jacobs is supposed to get 4 or 5 yards at least, so they let me.
Right.
Whereas in the CFM, Josh Jacobs was a nobody scrub that John Gruden wasted a pick on. So if the defender looks at him, he has to go down. It's just coded into the game. Oh, Josh Jacobs, they see you, you're tackled,
Right.
and that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I should be able to run over there and get tackled
Well,
that way
now
instead.
the other thing, and back to X Factors, is if you're throwing on an X Factor cornerback, you're a fucking idiot. It doesn't matter how slow that corner is. They break, especially now that they added or increased defender, and they changed it again where they supposedly decreased it. Defender reaction time in zones. If you're throwing at an X Factor, forget it. Like the Browns, they're like the worst team to play against, especially with a shitty offensive line. Those guys break
Well,
like crazy.
I have an X Factor corner, and he doesn't make any difference on my team.
Well, because you're the Raiders, you're supposed to lose.
Well, last night, it's always popping Grant up and saying Grant needs to cause 2 incompletions to get his X Factor going, right?
Yeah.
And I don't follow it. I just hope I get it, and if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. But try to call man because that's what his strengths are in.
Yeah.
Well, last night, or when I was playing the Chargers, and I'm used to this, but Grant, they showed a replay, and Grant leaped through the air and put his hand on the ball and spiked it down on the ground like a volleyball player. And I was like, oh yeah, Grant got one. Never, you can watch my stream; it's still up. Never registered that he had anything to do on the play. So then I saw that with my own eyes. I was like, how many other plays did he break up that he didn't get no credit for? They don't want the X Factor to trigger.
That's another thing. Like I got J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney. There's most of my games; those dudes don't do shit. And then I watch games with Fletcher Cox and Joey Bosa and some of these other guys that Myles Garrett wreak havoc every single game. Like I got to go through. What are my sack totals for Watt and Clowney?
1 second.
I know you're on there, so let's look that up.
I am.
I appreciate you.
It'll be
carrying the show.
whatever.
Hey, listen. All I do is I ramble on. Hopefully that people want to tune in because we're something different right now. We're like the Kardashians or Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie when they had their show. Go ahead.
Watt has 10, Merciless has 9, and Clowney's got 5.
I just had a game with Merciless where he had like 4 sacks, so that's a little skewed. Clowney has 5 though.
Yep.
So, and I've played what 13
no, Clowney
games.
Clowney has 5.
13 games, and what's Fletcher Cox have? Let's see who are the sack leaders.
The sack leaders are.
I'm curious.
They're not on the Raiders.
Of course not. The Raiders suck.
24.5 for Joey Bosa.
Okay, and I mentioned Joey Bosa.
23 for Aaron Donald.
Okay.
22.5 for Khalil Mack. 20 for Myles Garrett. 19 for for Montez Sweat, and Von Miller's got 19. DeMarcus Lawrence is 17.
So these are all season-ending totals, and like for guys to be in multiple guys to be in the 20s is asinine. Most guys are 13 to 14 in real life.
Yep.
Yep,
exactly.
Those 20 sack seasons are an outlier. That shit don't happen. But by this mentality, if you have a good pass rush, your X Factor should go nuts. Well, JJ had, you said 11 or something like that, and then Clowney has 5. What's the sense? So is there something to your theory of certain teams being underplayed because that's what Madden thinks? This team is going to be shitball.
Yeah, and there's no way it can't be the case.
I'm not just saying that because I've been playing subpar all season. I have yet to make the playoffs. But I don't know, man. I feel like there's certain guys that I'm definitely better than and that I call a better game. And maybe I do make a lot. I agree. I do make some dumb throws at times, but there's times when shit just is fucking stupid. Like
Yeah,
games.
I'm fine with getting penalized for my bad throws.
Sure. But then you see shit like where you call perfect coverage, and then, for instance, the Cleveland game got out of hand when Odell makes. Odell only ever made one fucking spectacular play in his career, the Dallas game, and he does that like on the regular. Like this dude is basically he's a bum. He's pretty much just like any other receiver. Yeah, like if you look at his stats, he's setting shit pretty high for a guy his age, but he doesn't make these ungodly catches every game. And especially now being with Cleveland and real life Cleveland, where Cleveland fucking sucks. I don't know. I think we're rambling. We're both beating a dead horse here. But
Prime is definitely going to say this was the Crybaby podcast.
This is the Crybaby podcast. We're here for the people that don't have a voice. We're here to stand up for the guys that don't get talked about. For the guys out there that feel that the game is against you, the game is against you. Okay? Your wife's against you. The Lord is out there working against you. Satan himself. The law. The cops are out to get you. It's not good. But anyway, I think we can all agree on this. Madden is a shit-tacular game. It's severely been underperforming for many years. We need 2K. We need another company to come in here. Or we need EA to say we need an independent game engine for Madden. We need to reevaluate what we're doing with this product. But that's not going to happen because there's the guys that spend thousands and thousands of dollars. I talked to a guy online. I think he spent I thought it was $4,000 or $6,000 on Madden Ultimate Team. That's crazy. That's unbelievable. For one, how do you have money just to piss away on Madden like that?
I know. I wish.
Before we go, because I don't know when you and I are going to get back on here, we've got a Star Wars movie coming out very soon. I want to touch base on this because I've always been a Star Wars fan my whole life. Basically, what Rian Johnson did to us Star Wars fans was piss over the entire legacy of Luke Skywalker. So if you're done, if you don't want to listen anymore, click off because we're going to go a little full-on nerd for just like a minute or two here. But in my opinion, that movie was a good movie from a filmography standpoint. It wasn't boring in any way, shape, or form, but just the whole depressed Luke thing, the fact that that's not what J.J. Abrams would have done with Luke Skywalker in that movie. That's been confirmed. What do you think is going to happen? Is this going to be any bit of a redemption? Is J.J. going to be able to save the saga, the trilogy with Episode 9? Or because I remember...
I wish him the best, but I don't see how he can fix this dumpster fire.
Well, I do. So this is the easiest way to fix it, is Rey opens her eyes, and it was all just a dream.
Right.
You just pretend that shit didn't happen.
That's all you can do.
And just restart and do it all in this one movie, and everything would be too quick. But I don't know. I mean, we're all really hoping for the best. There's a lot left that they showed in 7 that's yet to be explained. The Knights of Ren, a lot of different things, a lot of different aspects that have yet to be covered, So hopefully it all works out. I'm really hoping that Star Wars works out. I got to get caught up on... Go ahead.
Have you been watching The Mandalorian?
Oh, yeah. If you're not watching Mandalorian, listen. I get not wanting to pay for Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus. Don't pay for it. Get on there. There's something called a Google. You can find streams online, folks. But Mandalorian is good. Mandalorian's for John.
Well, I'm liking it. I think it's kind of formulaic and everything, but I like the story. I like what they're doing. Definitely great filmography and cinematography.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And it plays to the tropes that the fans want. It's not depressing like The Last Jedi.
But what I really wished would have happened in that one episode where they helped that village and the AT-AT walker was coming.
Yeah.
I really wanted them to get in a situation. I mean, I got a lot of complaints about The Mandalorian, but I won't go too much into them. Just little storytelling stuff.
Yeah.
But I wish Baby Yoda had blew up that AT-AT walker using Force lightning. and let him use Force Lightning to destroy that thing. So then you spend all for the next few weeks. You're arguing is the Mandalorian is Mando influencing the baby and taking him to the Sith by killing Jawas in front of him? Is he going to be an evil Sith baby?
There's a lot of cool things they've done with the show. Like I said, you can always pick any show apart. You know, it's not like they're just doing one quick 2-hour movie. And like these are all side characters that they're doing with the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
you know, so
it's great.
It's kind of hard to make a 8, 10, 12 episode and possibly beyond if they do more seasons interesting for a longevity standpoint. But what I like about it is the fact that it got me excited about Star Wars. I haven't seen the latest episode, but do you think, and maybe this happened already, if it did, don't ruin it for me. Do you think Baby Yoda is going to make it through this season?
I think he will.
You think Baby Yoda is going to make it? Do you think Baby Yoda will be part of Episode 9, or is this totally untied to all the events?
I have no idea. But I think I don't see any storytelling unless Ryan Johnson gets a hold of the show. I don't see any point in them killing Baby Yoda. It wouldn't drive the story anywhere.
No.
Not yet, anyway.
No, and John, I always say his name wrong. Favreau. That's how you say it.
Yeah.
You know, he likes all of his movies and all that plays to the fans, what fans want to see. You know, that's why the Jungle Book did so well. Iron Man, the first Iron Man, and that was the best Iron Man, was the first one. So
yeah. So before we go, I wanted to say,
go ahead.
Who do you think the surprise division this season is? This season,
the surprise division.
Yes.
All right, let's just do some quick bangers here about the SMLs. I feel like we didn't really cover a whole lot, so I don't know if people want to see this shit again. Well, really, the NFC West, the fact that it's so spread out, the fact that if you look at the Seahawks, 12-1, the next team is 6-7 with the Rams. The NFC South, very tight. Buccaneers and Panthers right there neck and neck. The fact that the Bucks are, which he's a legit owner, but the Bucks are a shitty team. If you go to the AFC,
that North.
The AFC North is tight, man. You got 3 teams, all winning records, all going to finish with a winning record. So I think you'd have to say that the NFC North is the surprise division just because they're the most competitive. And if you, like Prime, I watched about half of that podcast he put out today. You'd have to say that I'd agree with him. The AFC is the better conference because NFC East has 2 teams that are with winning records. Or 2 divisions, I mean. The AFC South has the East. You got the Patriots with 10 wins, the Jets with 9 wins, the West with the Chiefs at 11. The South has the Colts at 12, the Jags with 10, the Ravens 12, Steelers with 10, and the Browns at 9. So I think we're both gonna. I think you're kind of leading on this too. That the AFC North is probably a surprise division. In fact, it's not a surprise that Meats is 12-2. But the fact that the Steelers are 10-3, that it's not Dumpahonis anymore, bus driver or whatever. I think it's bus driver, and the fact that the Browns keep skating in there and being a legit team. I think the AFC North is the biggest surprise because you'd think that having that many good owners in one division that they would pluck each other off.
Yeah.
You know,
so
but
they're dominating other divisions.
Yeah, they're winning all those out of division games. You know, and that's what it's about. So those are the scary guys to watch for. Prime, he's good. He's been good for a long time. I've seen him when we were kids play at a Walmart Madden tournament when he was very young, and he made it further than I did. I mean, he was a little boy when he did that.
The prodigy.
No, I'm not exaggerating. Like, you could tell, like, this kid was going to be good. And then when we went to SGC, when he got on there first and then got me in and basically made a bunch of enemies because he kept winning. He was the Colts. And he won by big. Like, the shit he's doing this season is what he did every game, every season in SGC, and they eventually booted him because he was too good. And he embarrassed all the admins. So, anyway, Prime is always going to be good. He likes to downplay everything. Oh, I might retire. Switching gears now. I might be done. Meats. He might pass me. But if you guys want to donate, these trophies aren't too cheap, and we might do another giveaway. But Meats is the future. But he's going to be good for the rest of it. Meats is not a legit player. I feel like if I had a good team, I'd beat Meats. If and I'm challenging Meats right now to a quick online game. If we played in just a head-to-head on competitive, I would beat Meats. But anyway, I think to answer your question, the AFC North is the biggest surprise. In fact, they have 3 teams that have winning records. Unfortunately, no, probably not. Well, unfortunately, not all 3 of those teams are going to make the playoffs.
It don't look good.
I mean, because you got the Jags with 10 wins, the Patriots 10 wins. So the Patriots are your East team as of right now. If the playoffs started today, the Ravens would be the North, the Colts would be the South, the Chiefs would be the West, and then your wild cards would be the Steelers and the Jags. That would leave out the Jets. That would leave out the Browns. And then the Raiders are 0-14. Why the fuck have you not won a game? Are you tanking?
I'm not very good.
Well, I agree, and it's because your conspiracy theory. I think you have to get over this. The game is trying to fuck you mentality. You have to overcome it.
Brian said something interesting. He said he don't dwell on the play. He moves on to the next play. And when I make a mistake, I can let it go, no problem.
Sure.
I made a mistake, got to get past it.
But when you get
the game takes it from me, when the game fucks me, I just don't care anymore. It can be the second play of the entire game. If I know I didn't fuck up and the computer did, then I don't even care. I want to just start punting.
I think it's about a year and a half ago, and we got to end this. We're at 36 minutes, but about a year and a half. We could go all day. This is great. We got to be series regulars. If you want to see us do it, hit like, comment, and group me. Hit us up. Raider Fan and I are putting on a show. If we were doing a radiothon, we'd be kicking ass right now. Because I don't feel like we've been boring by any means. I just don't know if anybody's going to watch it.
No. We're definitely probably the number one show now.
We're clearly the number one show, especially by runtime. But about a year and a half ago, I broke a controller. That's why I don't stream my games. That's why I don't do the whole. I do stream my games. That's why I don't commentate my own games and do the whole video. I got so fucking pissed, dude. I threw that fucking controller, bounced it off the hardwood floor, caught it, like the shell like popped off. My trigger was inside. I was like, oh man, that probably wasn't good. But yeah, it's frustrating, man. And Prime's seen me. He makes fun of me about it all the time. The game's fucking me. Jesus fucking Christ. But it's hard not to get upset when shit happens like that, especially, I think what game was it? It wasn't the Titans game. It may have been the guy before that. There was someone recently that was bitching that they weren't getting any breaks, but literally they had a fumble and shit like right before the game ended where I was up like at least 2 touchdowns, and Madden literally led them back in the game by making me fumble for a scoop and score. My fucking quarterback missed a wide open Hopkins for a post route and the touchdown before that, which would put me up by 3. So I do see, and I do agree with your standpoint from an extent. I do agree with their standpoint that good users overcome the adversity but I don't know. At the same time, I think we're all going to argue this, and we may never know who's got the truth or not. I mean, EA has talked about whatever type of algorithm there is in there that keeps shit close, but bad shit does seem to happen more to some teams than it does others. And maybe that's just a misconception on mine and your part. Maybe we're just losers and we need to get over it.
Yeah. I wrestle with that fear all the time.
But I'm not willing to say that I'm a loser. I'm a winner. And winners win.
Right.
So anyway, we appreciate you guys.
You
got any other closing thoughts before I close this bitch out?
Nope, this has been great. I enjoyed it, Field.
I enjoyed it as well. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you managed to ride this out for 39 minutes and 13 seconds, God bless you for that. If you haven't yet checked out the SML store that I've got out there, I'm going to be putting on a new shirt. I'm just here so I don't get gourded. Gord is a real bitch. I hate when they do the Gord inactive thing. But anyway, if you're riding this out and you just happen to click on this video, check us out, simmaddenleague.com, daddyleagues.com/SML. Apply today. We've got something called the primer. Got a couple of spots open, I'm sure. The primer has done its job, though. it would be nice to have less SML guys in there, where basically you had a commish, a co-commish running that thing, and had different guys. So we need to get to that point. But as Prime always says, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and it's a slow building process. So we do need to fill that thing up. So if you know people that are legit, that want to be there, I'm sure it's a great experience in there as well. And eventually you could work your way up to Sim Madden League. But check us out on, now I forget the name of the damn website where I put the merch at. Anyway, I'll post a link for you guys. Zazzle is it. I got a lot of cool stuff on there. I got beer mugs, different sweatshirts, t-shirts. It's worth checking out. And I feel like it's made to order, so different sizes, different colors. You can change a bunch of different options in there. I've ordered a bunch of different stuff now. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, be sure to do it. I'll put a link in the description below. Raider, I really appreciate you coming out, brother. I just want to let you know. I hope that you at least get out of the goose egg column these last couple weeks. I don't want to see you be 0-16. I don't want that.
Well,
for you.
it all depends on if Gab Mack and a couple other guys win another game.
I don't want that for you. I want you to at least get one win. If you need me to come out to wherever you're at and play the game for you, I'll do that. Fly me out.
I'm a perfectionist. I like to.
Board
I
me
like
out there. I feel like me and you are gonna have to hang out at some point. I think that's gonna have to happen.
I would love that. We should go to a Titans Colts game.
We should do something. All right, guys, we're gonna close this one off. I think that Raider and I have cemented the fact that we need to have our own show.
Every Wednesday. Or every Monday.
Something.
Monday?
We're gonna have to get something together. Raider and I will work on it. We'll have to come with a new title for our podcast. But we appreciate you guys watching. Good luck to the rest of you guys. Wish you the best. Hope no one took anything hard. If you did, fuck off. I don't really care. Boot me. I'm a admin without any admin powers. So fuck it. We're riding out. Be sure to like, subscribe, take care. Have a great day.